Hello and welcome to the 1980s G.I. Joe show. G.I. Joe, a real American hero, was originally conceived to be a flash-in-the-pan toy tie-in series. However, by the mid-1980s, it was one of Marvel's highest-ranking titles, sitting alongside Amazing Spider-Man and the Uncanny X-Men in ratings. As a matter of fact, the title would actually sell out well before its sell-by date, forcing Marvel, for the first time in its history, to issue second printings. This comic didn't suck. So sit back and enjoy my review of G.I. Joe's classic Volume 3, issues 21 through 30, originally published in March to December of 1984.
Cobra!
What will happen? Find out in Marvel Comics.
Issue 21 is titled Silent Interlude. In this issue, Storm Shadow captures Scarlet, so Snake Eyes undertakes a solo mission to invade Destro's silent castle to rescue her. This issue is famous for not having any dialogue. It relies purely on visuals. While today it ranks as one of the best single G.I. Joe comics ever, at the time its wordless format was met with some confusion by fans. Besides the first issue, this has the second most recognizable G.I. Joe cover ever. It features the first appearance of Storm Shadow, the Red Ninjas, the Arashikage clan hexagram tattoo on both Snake Eyes and Storm Shadow's forearms, as well as the Cobra claw and Destro's high-tech silent castle. However, there is a continuity flaw in that the Baroness's new black leather outfit is shown here first. Issue 22 is titled, Like Chimney Sweeps Come to Dust. In the aftermath of Issue 19's battle, the Joes rebuild the pit and prepare to bury Quinn and General Flag. Sensing that the Joes will be preoccupied, Cobra Commander sends a new Cobra Tank Smasher jet to ambush them. Duke and Roadblock make their first appearances, as well as the Rattler jet. Although the cover features a finished 3-engine Rattler jet, the interior shows the 2-engine prototype, which was also used in the toy commercial animation. A new pit floor plan diagram is shown, and Major Blood, while he secretly takes the Baroness to the Bern Institute of Reconstructive Surgery in Switzerland, he introduces her as the Baroness de Cobra. Issue 23 is titled, Cobra Commander Captured at Last. The Joes tail Major Blood and the newly restored Baroness to Switzerland. Unfortunately, Cobra Commander arrives to pay for Major Blood's silence, and thus a three-way battle erupts. Chronologically, this is the first appearance of the Baroness's new black leather outfit she is better known for wearing. Issue 24 is titled, The Commander Escapes. After the battle in Switzerland, Cobra Commander is captured and transported to a remote location in the Rockies, thought to be impenetrable. However, Storm Shadow may prove that incorrect. This issue is drawn by Russ Heath, who did the character control art for Sunbow's animated series. Check out how he draws the Baroness. Wow! Firefly and Wild Weasel make their first appearances, as well as the Skyhawk, and cameos of the Water Moccasin and a certain swamp-dwelling shapeshifter appear. Cobra Commander also explains to the Joes that his helmet contains explosives that trigger if anyone tries to forcibly remove it. Issue 25 is titled, Zartan. After Cobra Commander escapes, the Joes follow the same trail that Firefly and Wild Weasel took to the Florida swamps. Zartan introduces himself to his Cobra guests, and all prepare to fight the incoming G.I. Joe investigators. This is the first full appearance of Zartan and his Dreadnoks, although they aren't individually named yet, as well as the first full appearance of the Water Moccasin. Also making first appearances are the G.I. Joe freighter USS Jane, apparently named after G.I. Jane, Zartan's Swamp Skier, Deep Six, the Shark, Cutter, and Mutt and Junkyard. Issue 26 is titled Snake Eyes: The Origin. The remaining Joe investigators lure out the remaining Cobras in Zartan's swamp headquarters. Meanwhile, both Stalker and Hawk reminisce about their pre-G.I. Joe experience with Snake Eyes after discovering the matching tattoos on him and Storm Shadow, while Snake Eyes himself pays a visit to his old ninja master, who reminds him that it was Storm Shadow's arrow that killed the Arashikage leader. This is as much an origin story for Storm Shadow as well as it is to Snake Eyes. Here we learn Storm Shadow's name is Thomas, or Tommy, Arashikage. His last name translates to Storm Shadow in Japanese, and he was the young master of the Arashikage ninja clan. Introduced here for the first time are the Soft Master and the Hard Master, who is the deceased leader of the Arashikage clan. Issue 27 is titled Snake Eyes: The Origin, Part 2. The Joe investigation team continues to deal with Cobra Commander, Destro, Baroness, Zartan, Firefly, and Wild Weasel in the swamps. Meanwhile, Storm Shadow interrupts Snake Eyes and Soft Master's conversation and reveals a secret about the assassination of the Hard Master. Hawk and Scarlet continue to reminisce about Snake Eyes, this time about his recruitment into G.I. Joe and the mission that scarred his face. This is the first appearance of Snake Eyes Wolf, shown in a flashback, and is not yet named. I found this bit kind of hilarious. While Snake Eyes and Storm Shadow are running through a crowd, a kid spots Storm Shadow and calls him Moon Knight. Again, on a personal note, issue 26 and 27 were instant sellouts back in the day, and all I could get were the second printings, sold quite a bit later at a discount store, bagged with a second printing of issue 2. Issue 28 is titled Swampfire, not to be confused with the 1986 toy of the same name. After the Joe investigation team reports back, Duke sends a heavier assault team to Zartan's swamp headquarters. In a pinch, Cobra Commander and Firefly discover Zartan's automated defenses, which consist of robot Cobra troopers and remote control HISS tanks. Oddly, this is the first appearance of the HISS tank driver uniform, in this case worn by androids. Also, this is the first appearance of the Killer Whale hovercraft. Issue 29 is titled Beached Whale. Abandoned after the showdown in the swamp, Destro and Firefly steal the Killer Whale hovercraft to escape. Meanwhile, Cobra Commander returns to Springfield to unveil his newest elite Cobra trooper, the Crimson Guard. While the Crimson Guards are introduced, the outfit is just a generic red jumpsuit. Clearly the toy design wasn't finalized before the publication of this comic book. Interesting enough, the codename for the first CG is Smith. And finally, issue 30 is titled Darkness. Zartan and the Dreadnoks trace the returning Joes to McGuire Air Force Base and informs Cobra Commander, who previously set up his Crimson Guard to stake out Fort Wadsworth. Cobra Commander then launches an attack on what he mistakenly believes to be the new G.I. Joe's headquarters. And Billy, from issue 10, is caught by the Baroness and Major Blood while infiltrating a Cobra office back in Springfield. This is the first time his tank's drivers are fully shown, but are piloting Fang copters, not the HISS tanks also shown in this issue. On their file cards, it does mention that they are qualified experts on the Fang copters, and this is the only time it's justified. Dreadnoks, Buzzer, Torch, and Ripper are finally named, as is the Crimson Guard with a fake family, Fred Broca, although he was codenamed Smith previously, and Broca is an anagram for Cobra. Here, Fang copters are called SNAP, or SNAP helicopters, in what I'm assuming is a bizarre typo.
I wonder if anybody on YouTube will know who I'm parodying.
Well, that's all the time I have right now. Please check out my Facebook page for more information and behind-the-scenes photos for these reviews. Thank you for watching this video, and stay tuned for next time to see another 1980s G.I. Joe toy review. See you then.